We are the sons of the soil. We are the children of the lands east of the Niger. We travel far and wide, but we never forget where we come from. We never forget our legacy.
Uncle, ana m ekene Uncle Kawagodulum. Why is Imwafia so important to our people?
Do you know what holds the Igbo man, the Igbo people together most?
No, I don't, Uncle.
You see, I have traveled a lot of places. I have seen people, I have seen cultures, I have seen civilizations. But to be honest with you, I have never seen the people who are as unique as we are. The Igbo man. I have never. We, the Igbo people, are the most business-minded people in this world. Go to me anywhere. We believe that there is no problem in this world that cannot be solved through bargaining, through negotiation. That's why I hear words like wabafia.
True.
You understand?
True, sir.
So everything becomes afia to them.
Market.
Exactly. And then came the Civil War.
Yeah.
Yes, our people were pushed to a corner, very dark corner. The devastation, the destruction, everything denied us our economy. So much so that it became difficult for an Igbo man to exist, to get the basic things of life. We lost everything. We lost the war. Not only did we lose the war, we found out that we have lost our seat at the table. And the big question then was, how could we stand up again? How could we redefine our future? Our people went back to the roots. We brushed up those things that our father and our forefathers handed over to us. Iswafia.
Uncle, but let me ask, how did Imwahia help to define us as a people, as he has today?
I'll tell you a story of Chuks. Chukunolonum.
My name is Chukunolonum, but everybody calls me Sam Chuks. Growing up, I helped my father on their farm at Ubolu in Bende State, but I really wanted to be a businessman. I told my father I wanted to travel to learn a trade. Well, initially, he disagreed. But soon as I grew older, I told my family I was leaving. Of course, they were upset. But my father decided to bless me. He gave me a favorite cap and played for me. He said I will be successful in whatever I'm doing.
Like Chuks, many Igbo boys set out to learn a trade in the big cities across Nigeria. They seek to master a trade make money, and bring honor and pride to their families and communities. To understand this system, we visit a professor of the University of Nigeria, Enugu campus.
Basically, when we talk about apprenticeship, we're talking about a learning process, tuition process, by which prospects who want to master a particular trade, usually the various artisanry, a trade, various trades of various categories, where the process by which they acquire the skills, understand the trade, the dynamics, how to serve the customers, how to buy the wares, how to negotiate the price. That process is what we call apprenticeship system. But the modern Imwa here that is learning a trade, particularly or Igba-Boy, it got a boost after the Civil War.
The Igba-Boy started shortly after the war ended, and the economy was bad. There was no money anywhere, and people were left to their fate. So the few people that still have a thriving business decided, okay, we Igbos, how do we help ourselves? Sir Louis Odumegwu of late memory became Ba's father of Nnewi. He was among the foremost people that started this scheme. He took a lot of people out of Nnewi to train them, and he settled them and set them up in businesses in Lagos. So that way the wealth spread across the Igbo land, and most people started adopting the scheme.
And this Imwafia, the system has 3 stages. First of all, finding a place to learn your trade.
Mm.
You understand?
Mm-hmm.
Second is going into the training, practical training of the trade. So that you see these things have sequences. They have a sequence. Yes, exactly. Then, the third one is the final one. That is settlement. That is when you know that you have finished whatever you're doing.
Many successful Igbo icons have emerged from the system to become household names in Africa.
After my school, my brother took me to work with him, so that after some time he will establish me. My brother Gabros, he took me to one Mr. Ufondo, who is #1 in message pass then, to go and learn message pass with him for 6 months. Ufondo said that he doesn't want people to learn from him. He wants people to come and serve him for 5-6 years. He will establish the business for the person. My brother tell him, he already have the money to establish me. He wants him to teach me so that he will bring his money to establish me. He said, no, he don't do that. Then we go. He took me to Paris Marathon. We agreed that I will stay with him for 6 months. After 6 months, then my brother will establish the business for me. So after 6 months, my brother come back to him to tell him it's the time to come out. Mr. Malaka said he doesn't want to release me. He wants to stay with me for 3 years. That he will do me as somebody that stayed 6 years. That I've come to him for 6 months, but he see a lot of difference from his business.
After the death of my parents, I was brought to Lagos by my senior sister's husband to serve them, though their business was not strong then, and we were into provision shop. After 2-3 years, the business boom up, and we enter motor spare parts. I was in that provision shop. My organ enter motor parts, and little by little, he was exporting goods from here to Abidjan. And 2008, we all moved to Abidjan, and we stayed there for a long time. And when my settlement reached, and I told him that I'm not going to stay in Abidjan, that the lifestyle of the people is not the same thing with my own. I'm not going to stay there. And I need to come to Nigeria, that this is the place that I want to base and do my business. He said that I will not leave, that I will stay with him, though I have no option, but I have decided within myself that even though he didn't settle me, that I will move. After a little quarrel with him, I know that I have nobody to talk to him. I've called my family there. My family say I should stay there, that whenever he decides to settle me, he settle me. I told him to settle me, and I have nobody, because he knows that I have nobody that will fasten the movement. So I stay until the time he decided to settle me. He settled me, and I told him that I'm not going to stay in Abidjan. I come down here, open my own business. With a little money he gave me, then he gave me 300,000.
Imwaya is significantly different in operations from the Igba-Boy system.
People mix Imwaya up with Igba-Boy. The two are different. Under Igba-Boy, a boy is taken from wherever to come and serve a particular boss. And sometimes it's done under a good faith, no written or agreement. Under the Igba-Boy, after the boy must have served for a good number of years, and it's not written anywhere that this boy will serve for 2 years or 3 years. Under the Igba-Boy scheme, is not done that way. But for Imwa here, there's an agreement between you and the boss that I'm going to learn this for 2 years. And at some point, you might pay to learn. Some other times, your mentor might not take anything from you in terms of monetary payments and all that. He's not under any obligation to set you up after the Imwahia. But for an Igba-Boy, your boss is under obligation to set you up once you are done serving him diligently.
Somebody can mentor you without you not necessarily coming to live with the person. But when it comes to apprenticeship, you will live with the apprentice will live with master. And for the period of years. While living with master, you're learning the trade, you're also offering services. And sometimes those services go beyond the formal trade. For instance, if you're learning how to trade in spare parts, you not only offer services doing the spare parts, you live with the master, offer domestic help also.
You are limited to some things. Like me, I am not limited to, I can decide to go home now. Then the person who is serving cannot do so. I can get a corner and go somewhere without permission or something. Then I give a call, sorry sir, something came up, and so, but the person who is doing the boy is limited to what he doesn't have a free time of himself. His time is controlled, his activities are controlled by his own box.
Definitely, when you come for the first time, they will give you like 6 months trial. So after that 6 months, now complete it a year. So now go back to village. Sometimes if you go with your master, or your master if you go alone, go meet your people. So maybe from there now talk how many years the young guy have to stay with the master.
There are benefits, and at the same time there are stress, because your freedom will be restricted for some years, around 4 to 6 years. And at the same time it's favorable, because after the end of your settlement you will be paid, or you'll be given some money to start up your own business, your own enterprises. And there's stress on it also, and it's hard work. You need hard work, dedication, and honesty to work. But by the end of 5-6 years, you get paid. And with the experience you have with your boss or with your guy, you can manage your own. Most big men here started with boy.
A boy might serve, and at the end of the service year, he's left with nothing. It could be that while he was serving, he was stealing from the boss. And the boss might not openly contended with him, just so you can finish serving him. So at the end of your service year, he will bring out your record and, okay, so time we did a stock taking. This money was missing. This money was missing. This money, where are they? So if the boy can't account for all those missing money, the boss can say, okay, I don't know what else to do with you. I've settled you. Whenever you find this money missing under your custody, then we can start talking. But other times, it could be as a business challenge faced by the boss.
To comprehend the importance of this system to the culture of the Igbo people, our journey takes us to the seat of Igbo traditional leadership, the palace of the Obi of Onitsha.
The apprenticeship system, whether in trading or in enterprise or in vocation, is an offshoot of this determination to produce the best human beings for the community, who can contribute to the community, also help themselves.
People graduate with head knowledge, with theoretical knowledge, only developing the cognitive domain. The psychomotor domain, the skills, the arts of various things were not acquired. They just go and cram things. Our education system has only memory. There's little hands-on. There's little psychomotor development, which this apprenticeship system inculcates with the people.
A successful businessman or, in his vocation, whether it's a carpenter or a bricklayer or, whatever he does, takes on apprentices, oftentimes will be anywhere from 1, 2 to 5 apprentices at a time at different levels of progression in terms of their development and so on. And the basic arrangement is that we give you our son to serve you for 5 years, after which you'll now help to set him up and venture capital to set him up to become independent. And then he begins to take on his own apprentices. So it's a pyramid system that continues to generate quality human beings for the community and within the community.
When I'm training boys in my shop where we are selling, my shop can contain about 30 boys. I have about 40 shops in one shop together so they can contain us. I don't have branch. We all there working. Some boys stay with me. Every year, I establish so many people, so many of them. I settle about 10 every year. Every year, I bring more 10 people. Settle them. All of them now is millionaires. They are doing very well. Because I train them, give them the way, advise them. Because business is that when you put your own idea, you will make it.
It actually projected me to how and where I am right now. Things like forecasting, we read them in school, but coming to the market, you now see the practical thing about forecasting when it comes to business. You can be able to say, okay, the price of this goods, it's this week. Dollar is the price of dollar is going up. Why not I hoard some? Why not I hoard some goods? And that is you forecasting. What will happen if I sell off all these things and the dollar price is shooting up? What if I sell and I'm not able to buy dollar again to, import? So by that, I'll say, okay, no. I have maybe 1,000 pieces of plugs or 2,000 pieces of bearings. I'm not going to sell now. Let me keep calm and watch what will happen in the next few weeks. If the price will drop or what will happen.
It's almost like going to business school.
Or more than going to business school. To be honest with you, business school. Because a lot of things you have to learn. If you enter into a trade, you know that almost all the other things are involved in it. Why do you think that most of the commercial things that take place in this country are controlled by our people? Because they learn this trade, it is in their blood. Do you understand? Look, check it. All those places are occupied by our people. Name it. We call it transport business. We're holding construction. We're holding sway there. ICT. We're holding sway there. Manufacturing. We're holding sway there. Import and export. We are there. Same. We are there. Now we're coming. And then even automobiles.
When I see that motorcycle is very expensive in Nigeria, I check the price of motorcycle, I check and calculate the content of the motorcycle. I found that the motorcycle is more expensive for nothing. So I went back to overseas to bring the motorcycle components on pieces and assemble them local. Motorcycle that I said 150,000. The first one I assembled 80,000. And 80,000, there's enough profit.
The system of Imwahia actually helped me. And for Igba-Boy, in general, it has lifted so many families out of poverty. You know, so many people, you find out that the boss they are serving is from Imo State, but they are from Enugu, maybe from a rural town in Enugu. And this boy served for 5 years or so, got settled, and he set up in business and all that. Maybe 5 years down the line again, he has gone to his village to pick another boy to serve him. And that way, the wealth is being spread across.
People are roaming the streets without skills. And because they denigrate the system of apprenticeship, they don't want to go learn and acquire the capital to be able to do business.
The journey of the Igbo Apprentice is truly a hero's walk. And when they finally get their freedom, it is a great time to celebrate. And celebrate they do.
In all of this area, the government can help in creating the enabling environment, you know, the training, basic training, continuing training, etc., and making loans and capital available inexpensively. The government can play a large role in that.
Get people, train them, and give them seed capital to develop. And they have a safety net where they can all come in the event where they start having issues.
It's about time the system be scaled up. You know, let people actually know more about it, and it could be incorporated into our syllabus, you know, taught in schools.
Entrepreneurial courses in the curriculum, for at least at the tertiary level, entrepreneurial courses for students to have a broad exposure.
One way to give boosts or impetus or fillip to the agricultural transformation program is to do apprenticeship system. Get the big traders, Obasanjos, they will train younger ones and they give them seed capital. Government will be channeling, training these boys through the main people. Otherwise, these monies they are sharing to young boys without proper mentorship, proper apprenticeship system will be filtered away.
The making of any authentic hero lies in his journey, the challenges and the choices he makes on his path to success. Only then can he truly say he has laid a legacy for others to follow.
Ukunulonum is now a very big distributor. He distributes this our favorite beer, Hero Lager beer.
Nationwide.
Yes. And people regard him as a hero. And he is a hero. If you could achieve such success from almost nothing, he is a hero.
My name is Chukwunolonu. When my oga carried me to Newi, I just started another life. That particular time, you know, I'm learned a bit. So when our oga, when they write the invoice finish, my duty is to cross-check everything the man wrote there, so that some of the mistakes, I can be able to extract it. There's one we are going to add more to the customer, and some of them, it will not be enough. My duty is to make sure that everything is okay. And majority of the customers, they like me with it because they are no more in danger whether their money is over in the business or their money is less. I have a relationship with many of the customers because when they come, when they finish the market, I'm the one to tie their carton and carry it to their motor or to the park where they are going to go. So from there, I begin to get my own customers because immediately I started my own, it's majority of that customer. And when I told them that I've already started my own, they would like to come and buy one or two things from me. And from there, I grew up. So I learned a lot from my master.
Chukwonolonum has over the years trained many apprentices through this unique mentorship model, and he continues to engage several others today. His story is a typical hero's walk among the Igbo people throughout Nigeria.
Uncle, I'm inspired.
You should be.
You
should be.
I am totally inspired.
That is the story of our life. That is our legacy. The legacy we're going to bequeath to our children.
True.
The legacy that was laid down, transferred to us from our own fathers.
True, Uncle.
Legacy transfer of ideas, success, wealth.
Skill, Uncle.
Name is skills. We are the people that we conquer the world with when it comes to commerce. When it comes to trade, buying and selling, the Igbo man will conquer the globe. I'm telling you
I
this.
believe you, Uncle. Totally.
Igbo brand is a brand that deeply cares about the growth of its consumers. It's a brand that exists mainly to accord reward to hard-working Igbo consumers of the East. The whole essence of the documentary for us is really to inspire and to tell an authentic story. We've seen different articles online about the Igbo Apprentice model. We've even seen international speakers. And then the entrepreneurs themselves can tell their own story. That's the most authentic form of storytelling. They are the ones that developed this model. They are the ones that know this model in and out. And they're the ones that have all the intricacies of the model that the international community cannot tell. So it's very important to us that the story comes from an authentic place. The story comes from a very believable place, from a credible source. And for us as a brand, we're very proud to tell this story because that is what we stand for. We're all about identity, we're about legacy, about growth and progress of our consumers. And we can't wait for the world to really see this story.
Now, I want you to tell this story the way I have told you. Tell your children and ask your children to tell it to their own children. Because this is who we are. Will you do that? I don't know. I coach them.
I came to this city on a night bus many years ago. Our people say. Then he cleared a fresh path for me and started me on my journey. Now, I'm passing on this legacy to my son. A legacy that will outlive me. For this is the sum of our efforts. This is the true reward for heroes. Ahagifula, may your name never be forgotten.